What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, as I predicted in my fight breakdown, that undefeated WBA light heavyweight world champion Russian superstar boxer Dmitry Bivol, who is now 21 wins, no losses, no draws, 11 wins by way of knockout, 31 years of age, 6 feet tall with a 72-inch arm reach, dominates former WBO super middleweight world champion Mexican superstar light heavyweight title contender Zurdo Ramirez. Okay, Gilberto Ramirez is now 44 wins, 1 loss, no draws. Okay, Gilberto Ramirez, Zurdo Ramirez, that is, came in at way over 200 pounds, much bigger fighter in this fight. Okay, he came into this fight with 44 wins, no losses, no draw, 30 big wins by way of knockout, 6'3" with a 75-inch arm reach. Okay, much bigger than Dmitry Bivol, and he was at least 200 pounds, right? As the commentators were saying, they don't believe he is south of 205 pounds in this fight, right? Extremely big. But as I predicted in the fight, he was going to be too slow, okay? His foot speed is too slow. His hand speed is too slow. He's a southpaw, he's a pressure fighter. He's very big. But again, right, he is a, pressure fighter with power, but he's very slow, okay? Dmitry Bivol has fast hands, fast feet, and Dmitry Bivol confidence, okay? He came in this fight with the biggest win of his career, beating 4-division world champion, who is currently the undisputed super middleweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who is widely considered the face of the sport of boxing and top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, in Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is now 58 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout. He is 32 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. Now, many people, they stated, well, Canelo Alvarez lost because, he's just too small. Zurdo won Dmitry Bivol beat Canelo Alvarez because he's just too big for Canelo Alvarez. And I told you guys, it had nothing to do with the size. It had everything to do with the skill. And once again, the skill was on display. So now he went from a guy that everybody claimed to be extremely too small for him to a guy that was extremely much bigger than him, and 2 Mexican fighters that are big-time fighters, and he dominates both in the same dominant fashion, right? Because it didn't have anything to do with size. It has everything to do with skills, okay? And Zurdo Ramirez couldn't match Dmitry Bivol in skills. Canelo Alvarez couldn't match Dmitry Bivol in skills, and so he won the fight running away, okay? Chris Mannix somehow found a way to give 2 of the first 4 rounds, rounds 2 and 3, to Zurdo Ramirez, which is very, very, misleading, because I didn't think that, Dmitry Bivol, I don't think that Zurdo Ramirez won a round in the first 7 rounds, right? And if he did win a round in the first 7 rounds, it was due to, activity, right? That of, Bivol not being very, very active, okay? And if Bivol wasn't very, very active, right, then Zurdo was winning a round, right? But outside of that, when Dmitry Bivol was letting his hands go and Dmitry Bivol was fighting, Dmitry Bivol, he was absolutely dominating this fight against Zurdo Ramirez. Absolutely dominating the fight against Zurdo Ramirez, right? And so with that said, it had everything to do with skills, right? It had nothing to do with, the size. The size of Dmitry Bivol, didn't play a part in him beating Canelo Alvarez, and the size of Zurdo didn't play a part in him getting beat by Dmitry Bivol, right? Dmitry Bivol is talented. It's his skill set, right? That's what it ultimately boils down to, right? And so once again, we see Dmitry Bivol's skill set. And he surprised me in the Canelo Alvarez fight, and he surprised me once again. But I predicted he was going to do this in this fight. Now, Dmitry Bivol says that it's a possible rematch on the table for him and Canelo Alvarez. But he said that, I'm a light heavyweight, right? He says, I'm a light heavyweight. This is my division. He said it would be interesting and intriguing to fight Canelo Alvarez at 168. Now, initially, after he beat Canelo Alvarez and dominated him, he stated that he was willing to go down to 168 and challenge Canelo Alvarez in a rematch to win Canelo Alvarez's belts. But now, since he has since changed his tune and he's like kind of hesitant to make that that decision, right, to make that sacrifice to go down to 168. And he said it would be intriguing and fight for all the belts, but he's a light heavyweight, and he would much rather face off against the unified light heavyweight world champion superstar boxer in Artur Beterbiev. Artur Beterbiev is 18 wins, no loss, no draw, 18 wins by way of knockout, 37 years of age, 5'11" with a 73-inch arm reach. Okay, Artur Beterbiev is a monster, winning all his fights by knockout. Okay, he's a unified champion. So if we get Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev, it'll be for undisputed. Okay, Artur Beterbiev, he holds the WBC, the WBO, and the IBF title. So the one belt that Artur Beterbiev is missing is Dmitry Bivol belt. Now, Dmitry Bivol is taller than Artur Beterbiev. Artur Beterbiev has slightly longer arms. Dmitry Bivol is a much better tactician, a much better boxer, okay, than Artur Beterbiev, right? And I think now, if Artur Beterbiev touches you, you're in trouble. But I think that Dmitry Bivol can outbox Artur Beterbiev, okay? He just can't. He have to stay disciplined for all 12 rounds. He just absolutely, Artur Beterbiev, he grazes you and you get knocked out, right? So you have to be able to stay disciplined. And Dmitry Bivol has the mindset. He has the savvy, the ring IQ, the ring generalship, the punch selection, is perfect. He don't waste a bunch of punches. He has great footwork, which I think ultimately is going to be the key for Dmitry Bivol beating Artur Beterbiev. It's going to come down to his foot placement, right? How he uses his feet, how he sets up the fight, right? And how he utilizes his distance and range. Artur Beterbiev at times could get very wild and very looping with his punches, the way Dmitry Bivol can counter him in between those and score high, right? And possibly even drop and hurt Artur Beterbiev. I won't be surprised if Dmitry Bivol drops Artur Beterbiev, right? He's just more precise, more accurate with his punches. His punch selection is much better than Artur Beterbiev's. He's a much better boxer. Now, Artur Beterbiev is the better puncher, no doubt, okay? But if you look at Artur Beterbiev fight with Marcus Brown, on the Govdik fight, if you watch those fights, right, you can see holes in their game. And Dmitry Bivol, you just have to be able to follow through with the game plan for 12 rounds against Artur Beterbiev. And there's not many fighters that can do that and stay disciplined for 12 rounds. But Dmitry Bivol is one of those guys who definitely can stay disciplined for 12 rounds and capitalize and beat Artur Beterbiev, right? But Artur Beterbiev, he has a fight coming up in the early part of 2023. He was supposed to fight Anthony Yarde, who is his mandatory, but there was an injury Artur Beterbiev, I believe, suffered, and the fight had to get postponed and pushed back because they was actually supposed to fight in November, but it got pushed back, right? And that's a fight that's going to be interesting. Anthony Yarde, 22 wins, 2 losses, no draw, 21 wins by way of knockout, 31 years of age, 6 feet tall, with a 73-inch arm reach, right? So Anthony Yarde has a fight coming up November 19th against Kaikov, Stefani Kaikov, right? That was supposed to be November 19th was supposed to be Artur Beterbiev and Anthony Yarde. So Anthony Yarde is just staying active, and he's the mandatory for Artur Beterbiev next year. So should he win this fight, we're going to see Anthony Yarde versus Artur Beterbiev in the early part of 2023. And then maybe later on in the year, maybe in the fall of 2023, we'll see Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev. But I do think that it's going to be Canelo Alvarez and Dmitry Bivol next. It's just a matter of if it's going to take place at 168 or 175. I'm sure and certain, since they keep pushing the narrative that Dmitry Bivol was just simply too big for Canelo Alvarez, I'm all but certain that they're going to want to have either a catch weight or the fight at 168, right? Is Dmitry Bivol going to accept that? I personally don't think he should, right? I think that he'll deplete his body. He have a big fight with Artur Beterbiev on the horizon. I think he should stay at 175. I think he should stay, fight a stay busy fight, just to stay active, and then go into the fight with Artur Beterbiev. I don't think that he should deplete his body run the risk of going down to 68 and not being the same when he come back up to 75, and your punch resistance not there when you're dealing with a guy like Artur Beterbiev. It's too much of a risk, in my opinion. So I think that, Anthony Yarde, Artur Beterbiev, that's no guarantee that that Artur Beterbiev is going to win that fight, because Anthony Yarde, if he don't have anything else, he definitely got punching power. He's athletic, he's big, and he's strong. So that's no walk in the park for Artur Beterbiev. But I do believe that the punch resistance for Anthony Yarde may not be there the same, and he gets clipped, he gets wild, he gets wide and looping with his punches, and you can't do that against Artur Beterbiev. You just can't. But that's going to be a very, very interesting, exciting fight. So I think, in my opinion, Dmitry Bivol should stay at 175. Okay, look to have a fight, defend his titles at 175. I don't think that he should attempt to go to down to 68. If he gonna fight Canelo Alvarez, fight Canelo Alvarez at 175. Tell Canelo Alvarez, listen, you got to come to 175. I don't think that he should attempt to deplete his body going down to 168. I just don't think he should do it. There's plenty fights right there at 175 for Dmitry Bivol. Maybe he could fight against Joe Smith Jr. Maybe Caleb Smith. Something of that magnitude. Caleb Smith moved up in weight. Stay busy, fight Caleb Smith, right? But don't go down to 68. And if Canelo want to fight him, tell Canelo Alvarez to come up in weight. I wouldn't deplete my body. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.